Those are definitely some good tips. And staying on the money theme, what a better time to teach your kids the value of a dollar and the importance of saving money than over summer. Steve Siebold, a self-made millionaire, certified financial educator, and author of How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker, joins us live this morning. Good morning and welcome, Steve. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, good, thanks.
Great. You know, I cannot think of a better thing to talk about these days. I mean, in the future, I've got to ask you this question right off the bat. In the future, do you think it's going to be more or less important to manage money?
Oh, I think it's going to be more important. And it's so different out there than it was even before COVID financially, in terms of the economy, in terms of the uncertainty. So I think it's going to be more important than ever to get a handle on your finances.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with you as well. Your first tip is to tie chores to allowance. Why is that?
Well, to teach kids about how the free market operates, that you really get paid for solving problems. And the bigger problem you solve, the more money you make. And so it's a lesson in economics as well as a way to distribute their allowance.
Yeah, it kind of teaches them the value of the dollar, right? All right, and you also suggest to teach your kids to have high expectations. Why exactly?
Well, a lot of people, including many prominent psychologists in this country, believe that you should have your kids lower their expectations so they're not disappointed. And I think that's a big mistake. I mean, America wouldn't be America without people that had high expectations and then went on to achieve those things. So I think when it comes to money, I think their expectations should be there's a chance for them to be financially independent so they don't have to worry about money for the rest of their lives. And it's totally possible in a free market economy like the U.S.
Yeah, Steve, I tell you, these are just awesome tips. It definitely is. And, this one is going to be hard. I mean, this one is difficult for adults. How can we teach our kids to embrace conflict? And why is it important to embrace conflict?
Well, I think when you embrace conflict at any level, in any context, you learn more if you embrace it as opposed to pushing back on it or creating more conflict, because you learn more. You learn what the other side really thinks, especially when it comes to earning money. So let's say you're negotiating their fee for mowing the lawn. Well, they understand that there's conflict involved, that you're the customer and they're the vendor, and they learn how to negotiate. And I think that's very important when it comes to earning money.
Yeah, these are all things that everybody really should know, and it's better to learn them as a youngster, right? And this is one that I think a lot of folks try to avoid, is failing. And you say it's important to encourage kids to fail. Why is that?
Well, after interviewing 1,300 self-made millionaires since 1984, I can tell you that their stories to a person are failure stories. They failed their way to success. And I think that kids need to understand that failure is the learning process. That's the school you go to become successful one day. But it's not a bad thing. It's just an outcome. It has no meaning to it necessarily. It's just really an outcome that leads you to success.
Okay, I've got to know. I want to learn more. Where can we go to find out more?
HowMoneyWorks.com to see more about the book, and they can also purchase the book on Amazon if they're interested.
I'll tell you what, Steve, I think every kid should read this book. I think adults probably should read this book, and I really appreciate stopping by today.
Thanks so much.
All right, have a good one. Thank you so much. All right, coming up, reality show junkies, we have a must